minute is gone, but I just want to say thanks. And what we do is we focus on custom hosting solutions. And if you have any needs along those in that area, we'd be happy to talk to you. But other than that, have a great time, and we are very happy to present. I'm not weird.
Strange people.
Both Damon and Aviel of Untitled Startup. They hosted with us, and they're going to talk about what they're doing, and recently funded to the tune of $250K. Yeah. Whoa. I think we have to start charging you guys more. Possibly. You'll get the quote later. But with that, I'm going to hand it off and say again, just thanks for coming out and have a great time. Drink all the beer and drink all the wine. Otherwise, my pregnant wife is going to be really upset that I bring that home. I don't really drink any of it. So, thank you.
All right. How many of you have actually heard of Untitled Startup?
What's the name?
For those of you who haven't, I'll tell you a little bit about us. We are an Untitled Startup. Aviel and I co-founded the company about 3 months ago. As Nathan mentioned, we were able to raise a little bit of seed money, and we build tools for social media people is the real essence of it. So I've built a number of tools in the past that all built on top of Twitter, like tweet stats and tweet search that do analytics and people search, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Aviel's a kick-ass designer that can make my stuff look pretty. So we joined forces.
I write code too. So.
Yeah, he writes code.
I menu and design some of them.
So that's Untitled in a nutshell. One of the things that we did when we started our company is we decided to try to crowdsource our entire company. So that's one of the reasons that we're actually Untitled. I've never done any sort of social media brand monitoring or management or anything like that. Aviel's never done that. So we wanted to build tools for these people, but we had no idea who these people were, what tools they needed, or anything like that, really. So we kind of admitted defeat and said, all right, we're going to be Untitled. We're going to go into this, with open eyes, call ourselves that Untitled thing that I keep saying, and we'll ask what people need. So we'll go to the PR people, we'll go to the marketing people, we'll go to the people that are doing this for their jobs and say, all right, we don't know anything, but we can build some really cool stuff. What do you guys need? How can we do it? And so that was kind of the genesis of Untitled. I don't know if you have any comments about that.
And I mean, also part of that is that we branded ourselves as a transparent startup. Obviously, that's actually our camera there, and we try and film everything that we've gone through. From being in meetings trying to pitch this idea to, actually signing the papers to meeting with people and discussing ideas, all the way to, hey, come on. All the way to actually, reviewing mock-ups before they happen. What comes with this whole idea of saying that we want to build these products for these specific people is the idea of crowdsourcing, or it's probably better called, customer engagement or community engagement. So we want to be entirely open in what we're doing. We're not going to, actually our initial site, we had anti-stealth on it. You could click a button, it's just our logo, and there was a little button that said stealth mode. You click the logo or the button, and suddenly it came out. And it was our pictures, it's who we are. It's, you could submit an idea for what we should work on. We'd say what we want to work on, and it would switch into anti-stealth mode. So essentially everything that we're trying to do is out in the open, and that's how we've built our products thus far. Talk about how that's gone.
And that we kind of rolled with that. So when we came out with the whole anti-stealth mode, a couple months later, Aviel did all the magic coding and design work to put out what we kind of call a community engagement platform. So people can come to the site, they can submit ideas, we get market feedback on the ideas, people can comment and talk about them, upvote them, downvote them in a dig-like style, and it's got its pluses and minuses, definitely. I don't know if anybody's familiar with mystarbucksidea.com, but this is something that Starbucks does as well. So they've got a site you can go to called mystarbucksidea.com, and if you want like different cups that you can use, or if the honey packets at the counter piss you off and you want to use a honey bear, you can submit that as an idea. Other people can vote them up or down, and they've got probably about 75,000 different ideas on that platform right now. That's all feeding into Salesforce, and they're using to determine how can we better address our customers' needs, what do they actually want, and invite people in to say, all right, cool, what can I do, how can we change this, and how should we address it? So that's awesome for Starbucks because they have a lot of customers. For us, we have customers now, but when we started, we didn't have any customers. So how do you crowdsource when you don't have any customers? So that's part of why we tried to do the Untitled thing, talk about what we're doing, and get people into this platform where they can give us ideas and all kinds of stuff like that. So when it first started off, Aviel and I wanted to build a product together over the course of a weekend because we never actually worked on anything just by ourselves. So what do? We asked Twitter. We're like, hey, what should we build this weekend? And people were giving us replies and say, no, you should build this, you should build that, you should build all this stuff. And I was like, putting it into a spreadsheet, and I was, voting stuff up and down and seeing how long we could build. And I was like, man, I wish I had something that would just suck all this into a spreadsheet. That's what we should build. So while the first idea didn't come directly out of crowdsourcing, it was based on top of the need for us to do crowdsourcing. So we built something where we could just put a term into this product, and it would suck all the data into a Google spreadsheet automatically. We could do whatever it is we wanted to do with it. So that was kind of the first product that came out of crowdsourcing. It wasn't an idea specifically, but it came out of that. And like I said, it's got its pluses and minuses.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we've learned through all this as well is, we had this grand idea of we're going to solicit these ideas, we're going to get tons of feedback from everyone, and we're going to be unique in crowdsourcing. But realistically, when you're building a startup, everything about it is crowdsourcing, whether you claim that it is or not. If you really think that it's two guys who are in their basement and they say, I have this 6-year plan about what this company's going to look like, they're lying. What ends up happening is they start working on something, they look at the market that they're trying to go into, they look at their customers, they talk to their customers, they talk to potential customers, they talk to their advisors, and things change. And to a very real extent, whether it's customer engagement, crowdsourcing, whatever you want to call it, that's how most of these people end up building their companies. So we did make a platform to actually allow this to happen. But thus far, we've had success, and we've also had a tiny bit of failure where we learned the hard way that the reason why people say you got to talk to your customers and customer engagement works, and why we built the platform is, hey, we're going to say what are your problems, what are your needs, what product do you want, and we got this pretty cool idea for this thing called Deal Bell, and we decided that we were going to build this, but we realized we were working in a B2B2C market, and we ended up our crowdsourcing platform solved the C and not the B. So just a random thing to be careful of.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. One of my favorite quotes is from, I don't know who to attribute to, but it's about Henry Ford. They say, if Henry Ford had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. They didn't even know about cars. So that's the challenge of crowdsourcing. The crowd may give you a lot of ideas, but you really need to filter through them and sort them and say, all right, what is it that people actually need here? It's not, if somebody says, I need a widget to do X, maybe that's not what they actually need. They need something to solve something else. So while it's great and it gives you a lot of ideas, you need to kind of boil it down.
Yeah, I'd say, to sort of sum up, I guess the whole point of this conversation is what have we learned thus far in trying to crowdsource, a company for 3 months, and it's that the crowd's smart, but the crowd isn't necessarily right. And that's, I think, sort of our major takeaway.
Yeah, and let's do a mini crowdsourcing thing here. So is there anybody in the room that has an idea that they want to share? Anybody? Some sort of idea for a platform or an application? Yeah.
An application on iPhone, actually, I'm working on just an article on things called screw keeping your idea of the shirt and everything.
Yep.
Maybe that's anyway, the thing would be an iPhone app. You go to a party, so everybody would have iPhone or Android or whatever you want. And you can just tweet the music like you do. This way you have a giant jukebox where everybody can do. And you say I want this music, and then people retweet the music. You go on the top of the jukebox.
Nice.
All right. Like a party with no DJ, but everyone would have actually music. Whatever.
So the idea is essentially you're at a party and it's DJ by Twitter or something like that. So regardless of what device you have, whether it's Android or iPhone, you send a tweet saying, I want to listen to some Britney Spears right now. And Britney Spears pops up at the top of the jukebox.
Vote down!
I was doing some analysis of our followers recently. Sorry. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. Step it up. Telephone. Has a lot of tweets. I mean, she's got like 4 million followers.
She's got nice tweets.
Yeah.
Okay. She's technically more influential than everyone in this room combined.
So that's the idea. Who in this room would actually use that? Put your hands up. All right, cool. Keep your hands up. Who in this room would actually pay for something like that? All right, so a smaller percentage of the crowd. All right.
Exactly.
I with this model can be better.
But but just to look at that on its own, you think, oh, that's kind of crazy. You're asking for an idea, and you think you're actually going to build that. As I said from the start, the realization is that these ideas, the things that you build, don't end up that way. It's all the lessons that you learn as you go. And I think what's been amazing for us, and I'm happy to say that we're actually making money at this point, is that you get to see all these different ideas, you get to see what people say and talk about them, you get to see who they are, and you actually get to do, it gets time consuming to go out and have this coffee with this person, this person, this person. We've done all that, and it's really great to have this extra ability to be able to engage all these people in sort of a viral social manner and get all this